Just a friendly reminder that masks are worn at all times while in the floor. We got it.
Get down, 10-pin! Get in your home! This time on the 9-pin. Randy, the word is Hambo.
Oh, 7-10 and the 10 go down.
What is going on, everybody? It is Frank the Tank, and that was the Dart Code Part 2. Finally, I can put this one to rest because I did always wonder what was going to happen if I put my go-to layout on the Dart Code after what happened with Part 1. And I gotta say, for this video in particular, it was a lot of fun. um, you know, After what happened in part one, I was thinking that this ball wasn't going to do anything special, but I was dead wrong. This thing was probably one of the most insane things I have ever tried to date. In the part one video, I put a weaker layout on the bowling ball, so I wouldn't have to be far left. I put 75 by 5 by 45. That puts the mass bias under the ring finger, and it keeps the pin in the exact same position as I did with this one. The only difference is obviously with this layout, 85 by 4 1/4 by 50, I had put the mass bias over to line up underneath the bridge, and you can see it was a massive difference. If you go look at my part one video, I was on board 19, so I was on the right side of the lane for that video, and I admit it probably wasn't a good idea to put that weak layout on that bowling ball because it just didn't work. It made it difficult, and the scores kind of reflect that. And you can see a big difference. I put my go-to layout on this one, and I was expecting it to be strong, but not that strong. Like I said, the strongest thing I have ever tried to date. Proof of that would have to be where I had to start in game one. Before I had turned on the camera, obviously, like I usually do to prepare, I played one practice game off camera. I threw the ball for a couple of frames at my normal pace to see where I needed to line up. And then, of course, when I needed to hook the entire lane with the ball, I needed, to get properly prepared for game three. I did what I had to do, and I was stunned because I started probably like on board 23 just to guess, for the game 1 and 2 to play at my normal pace. In the practice game, I was on 23 and it wasn't working. The ball was like going either through the nose or crossing over, and I'm thinking, okay, well, let's keep moving left. And then eventually I ended up, I think, like on board 30, and that is insane. That is the most left that I've ever had to be at the start of a game playing at my normal pace. I've never had to be that far left with any ball. Not with the Halo Pearl, not with the Solid Halo, not with the Nuclear Cell, not with the Crux Prime, the Omega Crux. Nothing. Until this ball came about. This is the most insane thing I've ever had to try, and that's part of what made it so much fun. Is me having only a rev rate of about 392, and me only having a speed of average speed of 15.9, basically 16.0 miles per hour. I, at most, with a very strong asymmetrical ball, at most will be on 23, possibly 25. I was on board 30 with this ball. You guys could see where I was sliding and like just the crazy angles I was playing on game 1 and 2. Crazy. I've never had to play at my normal pace that far left unless the right side of that right part of the lane is dried up. The lane was 100% fresh, and I was that far left. And that was just the funnest thing I've ever had to do because I've never had to do that. And it really, I tested myself there with that to see how I could handle that. And I handled it quite well, I think I could say. I mean, 735 series, I believe, a big difference compared to the part 1 video where, again, I admit I put the wrong layout. It just wasn't correct. And little by little, I've been kind of shying away from the 75 by 5 by 45 layout because I just don't know what ball would work with that layout. I mean, I even tried it on the phase too, thinking it would work, and it didn't. It's really difficult to try and do. But I'm really stunned. I'm happy. I don't even know what other words to use because again, even though that technically that is way too much ball for a house shot, it was still a lot of fun because again, I've never been able to find a ball where I could practically be very left and playing at my normal pace. It's a lot of fun to do. I know for a fact that Belmo could do it with ease. I remember he did a live stream. He was playing with the Axiom and the Trend on his Facebook channel, and he very easily could be on that part of the lane because he's got the high rev rate to make that happen, and he knows how to control his speed. But I know for a fact that instantly he could match what I do, 60 mile per hour speed and the 400 RPM rev rate, and just hook the entire lane easily because obviously his power and his speed is way higher than mine. But for me, to be able to achieve something like that was just incredible. But, this one is definitely going to stay with me because even though, like I said, it's too much ball for house shot, it still is a lot of fun that I could be able to do that. And I'm not going to lie, I was a bit worried that I was going to probably have to like toss the ball over the gutter for game 3 because of how strong this thing was. But no, it turned, as it turns out, all I needed to do was not throw the ball too slow. I needed to throw it just a little. You guys could see I had to throw it just a little bit quicker than I normally would when I was hooking the entire lane. And you could see I didn't necessarily like just drop the ball down onto the lane. I kind of had to give it just a little like bit of airtime. You could see I was kind of a little bit over the gutter, not too much. Again, I had to be more left than I was. For game 3, I believe I had to be somewhere around 33, possibly 35. I can't remember too much, but yeah, somewhere in between that. I was probably on 33, so that's insane. But I loved what I saw. I mean, the ball was pretty smooth. That quick change of direction. It wasn't snappy. It was arcy. Loved that. Again, I remember in my part 1 video, I said that it was like a High Road X, but with a massive upgrade to it. I stand by what I say. It's like a High Road X with a serious upgrade, and this shows that. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the High Road X video. You're going to see I'm probably like on board 20, and I didn't use the exact same layout on the High Road X with this dart code. I believe I may have had the mass bias kicked over to the line up underneath the middle finger to give it more continuation, whereas with this, again, I put the mass bias under the bridge to just have it roll more rather than, because I think the ball was already strong enough as it was. But you know what? I loved it, even though technically it's too strong. But if any of you want something like this, then I definitely recommend you pick one up. But if you have a very high rev rate, then you may have a problem. You might want to consider putting a weaker layout on it. For me, like I said, I don't even top out at 400 RPMs. I'm just underneath that, and I have a 16 mile per hour speed, and I still had to be where I was. So maybe a weaker layout might be the answer, but again, knowing the struggle that I had to endure when I put a weaker layout on the dart code, I don't know what to tell you. But if you have a low rev rate, then I think this ball would be perfect for you. And then as for the speed, however, maybe if you have like a pretty optimal speed like myself, like maybe 15 or 16, I think you should be okay. So yeah, if your revs are more than your speed, then you may have a problem. But if your speed is more than your revs, then you're probably going to be okay. But that's my take on the dart code. I absolutely am happy about that. I'm actually usually when I encounter a ball that is way too aggressive, then I usually like turn away from it. But with this one, I actually kind of loved it because it had an REX cover stock, which I believe is like, I don't know what that is, but I know it's like probably some upgraded version of the NEX cover stock, and it was pearl. You guys know how I love my pearl cover stocks. So yeah, this was actually pretty cool to have. So yeah, that's it for me. So that's the dart code part 2, massive improvement. I'm happy with it. I'll catch you guys in another video. Thank you for watching.